Hey guys, so I wanted to make one more quick video. This one's in a similar vein to one I've made before, where they were, I believe, climate protesters were defacing art, as a form of activism. So here we have yet another instance of this, but it was for the cause of, Palestinian activism. A pro Palestinian group slashed and spray painted a century old portrait of the author of the Balfour Declaration at the University of Cambridge in England. And this happened about a week ago. So a lot of, you know, I'm sure people don't really give a hoot about it anymore. But during the moment, people did. They were being really, as is tradition, whenever art is defaced in the West to prove a point or to draw attention to a cause, there's a big hullabaloo. There's a lot of, condemnation about the activists saying, oh, they're not, this isn't even helping the cause. This is just making people not like the cause, whatever, whatever. And I just find it so striking in this particular example where this event got so much coverage and condemnation. Meanwhile, not only the art in Palestine, but the actual infrastructure itself is being destroyed to such a degree that it will take tens of billions of dollars to repair it and decades to even begin, you know, returning to the point they were earlier. And I just think it's just such a profound representation of the racism that is inherent into this Western neoliberal status quo globally. Because this can get attention, but this people don't bat an eye and they see it as necessary for institutions like Israel to exist in the first place and commit these crimes against their fellow man, right? 2035 to reach the level of productivity that they were on in 2006. 80% unemployment. Like that's insane on its own. But then we consider, also if we zero in specifically just on art, right? What do we what do we see in there? More than 200 buildings of cultural and historical significance have been reduced to rubble in Gaza, including mosques, cemeteries, and museums. This is from February, right? So imagine what 2 more months of attacks have cost these people and humanity as a whole, right? And this is just damage to buildings and heritage sites. There also is, this article here I came across all the way back from 2016, talking about the looting of Palestinian art. Um, they assert that no entity looted Palestinian art and culture as the Israeli entity did and continues to do. They have closed and confiscated innumerable painting exhibitions in total, and they have damaged and shot up paintings on display. Thus, just a bit of research with an open mind will render all this obvious, right? And yeah, and meanwhile, New York Times is over here pushing this. Where's the similar piece for all this? What? Why aren't we condemning them in an equal fashion at the bare minimum, right? It's crazy. Yeah, the past is being destroyed as well as the present. Amid widespread damage to historical sites, images of Israeli soldiers posing with ancient artifacts in Gaza highlight the risk to heritage beyond the bombs. Like it's pretty cut and dry about and it's an opportunity for us to analyze exactly why the West is going to choose, and Western institutions and news institutions and whatnot is choosing, making the conscious choice to neglect coverage of these things and underscore them, um, while really emphasizing this stuff. And speaking of, regarding Arthur Balfour, it's like, looking at who he was, we can't, I can't think of a better recipient to defacing. A racist, imperialist, white supremacist, and anti Semite, ironically enough. Yeah, that's something we have to examine about European, the European role in Israel's creation. That part of Israel's existence is due to anti-Semitism in the first place because they didn't want Jewish people in Europe, right? Like the Germans could have instead, perhaps, some made some effort to atone, but with like reparations and whatnot, instead of shipping them out of the country. you know, they were over here. That's like part of what motivated Zionism is they didn't want Jewish people in their nations and they wanted to kick them out of Europe, right? Like so many prominent Zionists, he was so because of his anti-Semitism, not in spite of it. And again, this is all, this is on Twitter, but this is all documented stuff. You can read about it. Um, Plenty of places. Literally, the guy said himself, men are not born equal. The white and black races are not born with equal capacities. They are born with different capacities, which education cannot and will not change. Nice. A very enlightened thinker. um, Meanwhile, he was over here trying to screw his cousin. you know, Real nice. I don't know. It's just something about the reaction of the West compared to what's been going on. Honestly, this is nothing new. But I mean, this to the extent that it's been going on since October is, I don't know. There's no words. Long story short, the status quo that produced these outcomes has no justification to continue existing, and we should commit all of our effort moving forward to uh, perhaps bringing that idea to fruition. Because otherwise, the people making these executive decisions to harm Palestinians are not going to be held accountable otherwise. So we have to reconcile with the fact that if we don't hold them accountable now, it'll be perpetuated, if not Palestine. It'll definitely be continued to perpetuate in Palestine until it doesn't exist anymore. Because again, they've clearly said and expressed their genocidal intent and wish that there is no Palestinian state since the 90s. So all of the West is culpable when it comes to analyzing why um, things are this way. There's another point I had there, but I lost my train of thought. But that's basically it. Thanks for checking this out, and y'all take care. Bye.